So 100 is a piece that is kind of driven by this idea of beginning. And in thinking about beginning, we went through kind of a lot of different processes in the development of the work, Ilana and I. Ilana will be the performer for the piece. It is a solo work. One 100 is kind of a funny number. It holds all of this significance in many different ways. Those people, like the Pythagoreans, thought of it as divine. This idea of 100 days and this kind of double entendre with all of the press around President Obama's first 100 days, which actually I believe traces back to Napoleon and his sort of return from Elba to his defeat at Waterloo, and so many other things around the idea of 100, of kind of what you would trace back to the beginning, from zero to that, to get to that number, to something that would be a whole. In thinking about 100 from a movement perspective, it's kind of been sort of an interesting thing of establishing what would be the place that actually is never touched, kind of hits the ground in this piece, and that would be actually the palms. And so it's this kind of tiny sort of detail from a movement perspective around the work that captures this idea. And so there's this idea of moving through all of this speculation. And all of the speculation comes from what we know, even though what's coming is, again, completely unknown. I often trace the roots of my choreography, rather than to sort of my beginnings as a dancer, to actually a brief part of my life where I was a hospice nurse. As I really think that that's when I really started to understand the idea of stories and detail, and the power of detail, and the importance of things like time. And I really also, around that same time, began to sort of craft these new ideas and came back into dance. Primarily with it being sort of a familiar vocabulary and a kind of a known place in which to communicate those ideas.